Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The Supreme Lord instructed the demigods, the Devatas, that you should churn the ocean of milk and you'll get nectar from that. And once you get nectar, after drinking nectar, you'll be very strong. But you cannot do it alone, so you should take the help of your stepbrothers, that is the demons. And they go and they invite them. And now both of them, they come. The first thing that they do is they get Mandara mountain. While getting the Mandara mountain, which is very, very huge, in between they got crushed because mountain fell on them. And Lord comes into picture there, Lord Ajita, the Supreme Lord himself. And he comes there and he gives them life again. Now after that, Mandara mountain, who carries the Mandara mountain from there? Lord himself carries. Lord takes the Mandara mountain, keep it on Garuda, and that's how the Mandara mountain comes to the ocean of milk. Now the question comes that, okay, we have to churn the entire ocean. So now the churning rod is there. Here our Udupi Krishna is holding a churning rod. The churning rod is there. So what is the rope now? And at that time, yes, Lord told, get Vasuki. And Vasuki will act as rope. Now when Vasuki came, I'm sure that none of them would have gone and put him around. He might know what is supposed to be done. So he went around the mountain and both the sides. Now we have rope. One side we have demons, other side we have demigods. So but obvious one side was the face of Vasuki and another side was tail of Vasuki. So Lord Ajita, he went to the face side and he held the face. And demigods naturally followed him. And demons who were there, they were standing. They were neutral. Hum kuch nahi karenge. Because their thought process was, we such learned personalities, we such personalities are famous all around, we'll hold tail? Chichi. Tail is an inauspicious part. From that only stool union and all that they pass. How can we hold tail? No. We will hold only the auspicious part. And that is the face. Or else we'll not hold anything. And they stood, they didn't speak. They didn't speak. Sarvasya chaham ridisanni vishto. Supreme Lord is there in everyone's heart. And Lord understood what these demons want. And immediately Lord left the face. He came to the tail. He held the tail. And all the demigods followed him. You can imagine the scene. Lord is going from here to here. Demigods are also following. He went there. Demigods are following. So in this way, Lord went on the other side. And the demons, yes, we did it. And then they went on the other side. They held the face. Those demons were thinking that they are very great. They were the ones who were like, no, I'll stand first. So they went and held the face. And then other demons were there. Now it's very nice to note here that Lord always has a plan for everyone. And here there was a plan. But unfortunately, the demons did not want the plan of the Lord. They wanted their own plan to be executed. And we see when the churning started, when the churning became really rigorous. So at that time, Vasuki, since he was feeling the pressure, no, you can imagine if someone pulls us from both the sides, we cannot use a churning rod for sure. But just imagine if someone pulls us from both the sides, so much of pain will be there. Vasuki was feeling that. He was used as a rope, both the sides. This going on, and at that time, Vasuki, from his eyes and from his mouth, he was spitting fire. First smoke started coming and then fire started coming. Now just imagine all those great demons were thinking, We are great, we will be first. They're all burnt. They're all burned, their entire clothes. They became dirty. The garland that they were wearing, that got withered. So in this way, the entire situation of demons was pathetic. Just imagine if they would have been on the tail side. Lord would have taken care of this side. But what to do? Following what the Lord wants is not that easy. You see, at times, when Lord's representatives, our superiors, our spiritual masters, when they instruct us something, it becomes very difficult to digest the instruction. It's very easy to follow the mind. Very easy. After all, that mind is ourself. Because we're fully convinced that I'm not spirit, soul, I'm this body. So whatever the mind says, yes, I'll follow that. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that mana does not like any shasan. Na mane shasana sada achetana vishayer oeche ghura. It does not like shasan, it does not like authority. The only thing the mind likes is to be in the darkness always. What to do? Mana je pagala mora. My mind is mad. But if someone follows the plan of the Lord or participates or cooperates in the plan of the Lord, that person will grow very nicely. But to have that faith, that plan of the Lord is the best, is very, very difficult. How do we say the plan of the Lord is best? What do you think? Why Lord's plan should be best? Even we are his part and parcel. We are also Sichidananda Vigraha. Oh, only he is Vibhu, we are Chutku. So, why? What is that? Oh, he's our well-wisher. So, obviously, he'll not give a plan which will destroy us. What are you saying?
He's like closest to our heart and he's our best friend only.
He is closest to our heart. Sometimes people say that that person is very, very dear to my heart. That person is very closest to my heart. How much close? Not as close as Paramatma for sure. Not as close as Paramatma. Yes. So Lord is very close to us. What else? What is that? So Lord is Vibhu. So his vision will also be Vibhu. He can see through. He can have a vision of past, present, and future. He knows what is best for us. See, one first and foremost thing, tell me, when we are there in this material world, what are we trying to achieve in this material world? Happiness. Okay, that's for people in general. But when it comes to devotees, what are we trying to achieve in this material world? Huh? Huh? Krishna consciousness, वो तो प्रयास कर रहे हो नहीं रहा कुछ, लेकिन उसके पहले attaining full-time service of the Lord. That obviously we have to, one or the other day. Trying to do bhakti, attraction for the name, form, qualities, yes. What is that? Krishna Prem, that's the ultimate goal. Yes. Pata nahi kitna dur hai, we have to see. Shraddha, yes, faith. All these things that you all said will happen when purification happens. One senior devotee was explaining this point, very nice point. That the important thing that why we are there in this material world is to purify ourselves and help others to get purified. So unless and until purification doesn't happen, we cannot advance in bhakti. Not possible. This name, form, quality, and pastimes will just be another material thing for us. Therefore, purification is very, very important, and Lord knows how to purify each one of us. The purification that is planned for me based on my past vasanas and samskaras will be different than what is planned for you. For you. For you. Each one of us sitting here will have a different trajectory, a different path on which we are supposed to walk to get purified. This is what is Lord's aim, that is purifying all of us. And therefore, if we just cooperate with the Lord's plan, we will get purified. If we don't cooperate, if we just have our own things to do, unfortunately, we will not get purified. If we don't get purified, where is the question of attaining Krishna Prema? Krishna Prema will always remain some illusory thing or some fairy tale which we had heard right from childhood of our Krishna consciousness. Yes. Therefore, purification is very, very important. Another very important thing to note here is the demons were like, no, we want the face. We want to be in the forefront. Now tell me, the service that is given in the forefront or in the background, does that matter? सोच समझ के बोलिए. No. But service in the forefront matters, Baba. Everyone around will get to know किसने सेवा किया. But if you are just washing plates behind washing vessels, now you cannot go and tell, वो दिख रहा है वो shining vessel. You cannot say that. Yes. So forefront services are very important. Where people will get to know that we have done service and they'll glorify us. Background service and all, क्या है मतलब, ठीक है. सही है ना? नहीं? अरे आप लोग convince नहीं हो रहे? Okay, Lord sees the intention. Again, we are rendering service for what? To please the Lord. Now, how does that really matter? Are we in the forefront or are we in the background? Forefront, other people will see. Background, Lord is seeing. Forefront also Lord is seeing. But background, Lord is just seeing. He is the only one who is seeing. So it's very, very important thing to note that whatever we are doing, it's only for the pleasure of Lord. Someone recognizes us, someone does not recognize us. At least when it comes to youth boys, I have not faced much problem as such. When it comes to this forefront background and all that. But when we preach, in the congregation, and when services are there, at that time, oh, प्रभु जी ने उसको वो सर्विस दिया, हम भी कर सकते थे, हम भी कर सकते थे, हमें बैकग्राउंड में क्यों रखा? Looks like that devotee is very dear to प्रभु जी. 2 extra गुलाब जामुन खिलाए लगता है. And literally, we have to hear all this, and then we have to also, now at that point of time, when a person is hankering, you cannot do anything. You have to just help the person. ठीक है बाबा, you want forefront service? Come. You be on the stage with the Lord, stand beside the Lord. एक side Radha Rani, एक side आप. खड़े रहिए. There's one service in one of the Janmastamis, that is chappal seva. तो अभी जो लोग आ रहे हैं उनका चप्पल लेके रखना है. Now that was assigned to one devotee. And then this devotee, after doing for some time, is like, प्रभु जी मुझे हॉल के अंदर कुछ सेवा दीजिए ना. बाहर बहुत ज्यादा हो गया, हॉल के अंदर कुछ सेवा दीजिए. And looks like his service authority, he said, नहीं चुपचाप ये करो. And in the middle of Janmashtami, he left that service, went somewhere. And then he was seen roaming around in the hall doing something. So, at least what attracted me when I started my Krishna conscious journey, it was Chopati temple where I went. And there I saw a lot of devotees were taking chappals and keeping, hanging at, they have that rack with hooks. So they hang the various polythenes, having chappals, having footwears. So I was seeing that, and devotees are so enthusiastically doing. So enthusiastically. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, it will not be announced that today, His Grace so-and-so has collected 10 chappals. Hari bol! 100 chappals. ऐसा तो कुछ होने वाला है नहीं. But it's so wonderful to see that how devotees, it doesn't matter what service that is. What matters to them is do I have some service or not? After all, as a servant, our job description is to serve. अगर service ही नहीं है तो क्या servant? So any service that we get, this is what my superiors have taught me. Any service that we get, we have to take it as a great opportunity to serve the Lord. Great opportunity to serve the Lord. And in this way, when we cultivate proper service attitude, then we become eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. जब तक अभी ये rebellious attitude है अपना, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. So people there, will get scared. Oh, this person is coming back home. बिल्कुल नहीं. Don't get him. Don't get him. All the Sakhis, Gopis, Manjaris, they will say, इसको बिल्कुल हमारे group में नहीं लेना. Send him to Chandravali's group. Therefore, it's very, very important to note that the eligibility or the qualification to enter spiritual world is to develop service attitude. Therefore, with time, we have to analyze, have I developed at least little service attitude as compared to before? And it's a everyday job. to analyze, have I developed some service attitude? And the point at the time or the point when we start analyzing, ये service अच्छा है, वो service नहीं है, this and that, we have to understand one thing, that we are like those demons who wanted the face and not the tail. This pastime is so wonderful. We see the Devi Devtas, the demigods, they just followed the Lord. They just followed the Lord. Lord held the tail, and these demons held the face, and the churning began. Demigod specialities, many times people say, oh, demigod hai, sense gratification. क्या क्या नहीं किया इंद्रा ने, क्या क्या नहीं किया ब्रह्मा ने. अरे भाई, आप लोग से कंपेयर किया वो तो बहुत बेहतर है. You just imagine their acts of sense gratification is documentable. It's documented. And if someone starts writing our activities of sense gratification, I think that Srimad Bhagavatam will be cantos after cantos after cantos. It will never end. Therefore, one thing we have to understand is it doesn't matter how much sense gratification that these Devi Devtas do, but their dependence on the Lord is ultimate. Whatever it is, they just look up to the Lord. Oh Lord, please save us. Please save us. Please save us. Therefore, they'll always follow the Lord. When it comes to demons, they'll always go away from the Lord. When the churning began, at that time, the huge churning rod that was Mandara mountain, that sunk inside the ocean. And this side, the Devtas, that side, demons, and both of them are looking, where is the churning rod? It's going down, it sunk. And they became morose completely. Because the goal is to get the nectar, churning rod is only not there. At that time, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He incarnates as a tortoise. And then He comes from below, lifting up the Mandara mountain. Now imagine, this entire mountain was so huge. Now how much huge our Lord would be in that form of tortoise. The entire structure or the entire form of the Lord was extending to 800,000 miles. Huge, huge. And on that, the mountain was there. And both the sides, Devtas and the demons, they saw the mountain coming up. They were very happy. Oh, churning rod came back. And then it started. When I was thinking about this churning rod going inside, it is like we have kept a spoon inside sambar and it goes down inside. And the devotees are wondering, kahan gaya? I've seen devotees wondering, अरे दूसरा लेके आओ चम्मच. प्रभु जी चम्मच नहीं मिल रहा, चम्मच नहीं मिल रहा. Can you imagine? They got the mountain with so much of effort, and that sinks in. And when the same mountain comes up in front of them, appears in front of them, how much happiness will be there? And now when the churning started, so at that time, let's imagine if you uproot a mountain, below it's not going to be a very smooth surface. Below there'll be a lot of rocks that will be out, right? Just lift that, and a lot of rocks will be out. Sharp rocks. That is kept on the turtle. That is kept on the tortoise. That is kept on Kurmadev. And when the entire mountain going as a churning rod, the entire mountain was rubbing the back of Kurmadev. And at that time, Kurmadev had the transcendental itch. And this churning rod, the mountain, the huge mountain, it is going on the rod, rubbing his back. He was feeling as if his itch is getting relieved. And at that time, he got a nice sleep. I've seen when small kids, they cry, their mothers keep caressing their head. And after some time, they go to sleep. Just imagine here, Kurmadev. On the back of Kurmadev, there's a huge mountain with sharp rocks below, and that is rubbing his back, and that he's feeling as an itch. And that itch comes, gets relieved, and he goes to sleep, a sound sleep. This is the supremacy of the Lord. This supremacy of the Lord. When people say that I am God, don't get a mountain, get a stone and rub nicely. Yes. पूरा skin निकलना चाहिए. उनको बोले अभी सो, sleep now, sleep. Nonsense, God. You're not God, you're a dog. Hmm. So it's a very important thing to note that how supreme and how great and how powerful our Lord is. This is Sambandha Gyan. When we understand the greatness of the Lord, when we understand how powerful He is, when we understand that He is the one who can give shelter to anyone and everyone who approaches Him, then it is possible to do Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Otherwise, it's not possible. Therefore, for devotees, Sambandha Gyan should be clear that how great the Lord is and how insignificant we are. So, whenever we hear any pastime of the Supreme Lord, one thing that all of us should do is we have to compare ourselves. And easily we'll understand He is Vibhu and we are Chutku. Yes. He's huge and we are very small. Very, very small. In fact, if we stand in front of Him, we'll not be visible also. If someone has got this realization, that person will be naturally humble. Natural humility. This question was asked to one of the sannyasis, Prabhupada's disciples. I was sitting in that class. That Maharaj, how to become humble? And Maharaj said, that just imagine you're in a small boat in the middle of a huge ocean. Now tell me, how big you will feel yourself to be? I will feel very, very small. You all can also imagine a small boat and you're a big person on that and there's a big ocean around. And there's no one around except the sharks inside. Yes. No one around. You cannot see any land around. The only thing, wherever you're looking, it's only water everywhere. How will you feel? Naturally, a person will feel very, very humble. Therefore, any person whose Sambandha Gyan is clear, that person will naturally be humble. It's not that pure devotees act that I am nothing, you're everything. No, they realize completely. It's very clear for them what is Sambandha Gyan. It's very clear. They have realized the Sambandha Gyan, and because of that, they naturally feel humble. Natural. In this way, here we understand that our Lord, in the form of Kurma, such a big Kurma, and on him the Mandara mountain is getting rubbed, and he is getting all sleep at that time. Now look at the situation. They're churning, but then what to do? The churning rod is not stable. It is moving one side, other side. Abhi tug of war hota to theek tha. But it's churning of the ocean. But the mountain was not stable at one place. The same Ajita who was there on the side of the Devatas, he, with many, many hands, Bhagavatam says thousands of hands, he sat on the mountain. And he held the mountain. He was supporting the mountain. Now just imagine Lord's form on the mountain. Shukadeva Goswami is describing. There was a mountain, and above that, there was a Neela Parvata. There was another mountain on that, which was bluish, blackish. And Lord was looking very beautiful on the mountain as a mountain. He was having his kundal, he was having his mukut, he was having the peacock feather also. He was having his Vaijayanti mala and other things. And with so many hands, he held the mountain and he supported. Okay, now tell me where all Lord is present. Okay, on the top, below the mountain, on the mountain, below the mountain, with the demigods on one side. Yes? Now, when the entire churning was going on, so the Devatas and the demons, they were churning. But then, to help them, Lord entered each personality there. He entered as passion in the demons. He entered as goodness in the Devatas. And since this Vasuki, when the churning started, rigorous churning started, he started spitting fire and all that. Demigods were also affected. Huh? Here they were burnt. There's no question. Demons were burnt. But the other side, the demigods were also affected. They also were feeling the heat. But since Lord was present, and as soon as they started feeling heat, they started looking at the Lord. So in this way, when the churning starts, and when the churning is consistent, at that time, the first thing that will happen is the poison will come out. And when the poison comes out, at that time, what are we supposed to do? Run away? Give up devotional service? What are we supposed to do? Take shelter of devotees. Yes, take shelter of devotees. Now, whenever we are feeling very miserable in life, confidence is very low कि मैं कुछ नहीं कर पाऊंगा भक्ति में. कृष्ण प्रेम तो पता नहीं, लेकिन ये दो तीन अनर्थ तो निकल जाए, वो भी नहीं निकल रहा है. At that time, I've seen so many devotees getting depressed at times. I don't think I'll be able to do bhakti. Maybe next life I'll continue. I don't think I'll be able to do it. The fact is, we all are eligible to practice devotional service, become pure devotees, and go back home back to Godhead. We all are qualified for that. The only thing is the consistency is needed. If consistency is not there, then it's difficult. And at that time, when we are nicely churned, and the first thing that comes out is poison, at that time we should approach our superiors. Very, very important. And the entire churning process, where was the Lord? Everywhere. Supreme Lord is there everywhere. But still, the Lord went to Lord Shiva. Then all the devatas also followed him. So question comes, and many times people ask, see, you say that Krishna is supreme, but he himself went to Shiva, so Shiva is supreme. Why did Lord go to Shiva? He could have done himself. Glorify the devotee. Anything else? Okay, to give credit to the devotee.
He has God in the form of holiness.
Okay, so? Okay. This one very, very important quality that we will see in the Lord is,
Leadership quality to give credit to the others.
yes, this quality of the Lord we will see at multiple places. Okay, any other example you want to give? Where Lord gave credit to his devotee. What is that? Arjun. Now it is very clear that Lord is doing everything on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. After the entire Yuddha, when it was asked to that person who was sitting on the mountain, only face was there on the mountain. Barbaric. And he was watching everything. He was asked that, what happened? What did you see? He just said, I could see Sudarshan going around and killing everyone. And actually Lord did that. Now Lord did the needful. In fact, Arjuna also saw that how the Supreme Lord was chewing everyone in his universal form. Can you imagine seeing a form where few human beings are stuck in the teeth? Like fibers get stuck in our teeth? Few human beings stuck. Arjuna was really baffled. But still Krishna is asking, no, you should fight, no, you should fight. And when Arjun fought, oh, hero of the Kurukshetra war. But actual hero was Krishna. But the credit was given to Arjun. Any other example? Okay, Srila Prabhupada. Yes. So Lord empowered Srila Prabhupada, went around. And Lord could have done all this himself. But no, he sent his devotees to do the needful. And all credits to them. Yes, what else? Okay, all devotees. Yes, Goswamis and others in our parampara. Any other pastime from Bhagavatam? Chaitanya Charitamrita. Huh? Sent Yudhishthira Maharaj to Bhishma Dev. That pastime is so humorous. Now two brothers went into depression. One before Kurukshetra war, one after Kurukshetra war. And the Lord spoke the same Bhagavad Gita to both of them. One came out of depression, another went more into depression. And the description there it says that Krishna spoke the same Gita to Yudhishthira when he was in depression, saying, I am responsible for this huge massacre. But he was not convinced. And the question is asked, how come the Supreme Lord is speaking? How come this person didn't get convinced? And the answer is because Lord from within Yudhishthir didn't allow Yudhishthir to get convinced. Because Lord wanted Yudhishthir to go to Bhishma Dev and get convinced so that Bhishma Dev will be glorified. Can you imagine? Lord didn't allow Yudhishthir Maharaj to get convinced when he was speaking. And then finally Yudhishthir Maharaj was taken by the Lord that let's go to Bhishma Dev and let's hear from him. And when Bhishma Dev spoke, at that time Yudhishthira Maharaj, all lamentation went off. And at that time he was fully situated in proper consciousness. Yes, all credits to Bhishma Dev then. Any other example? Hanuman is another example. Hanuman and entire Vanar Sena. Tell me what was the need of Vanar Sena in the fight of entire battle in Lanka? And what was need of Vanar Sena for building the huge pool? When Vasudeva was carrying Krishna from Mathura to Gokul Mahavan, and when the entire Jamuna was flooded, when he started walking, Jamuna gave the way. And if Lord Ram would have started walking, he would have given away. But Lord has this great quality that I alone cannot do anything. My devotees should help me. And entire Vanar Sena was employed in that. Even when it comes to preaching, Krishna alone can preach everyone and make the entire world Krishna conscious. But then he wants his Vanar Sena, yes, all of us to be involved, and he wants us to get the credit of preaching. But finally, Lord is the one who preaches, and all the preachers know this. If Paramatma within the heart decides that this person shouldn't get convinced by the preaching of this preacher, बताओ क्या कर सकते हैं? Same dialogue told to one person, or same preaching we did to one person, he got convinced. And same thing we're doing to another one, and we're realizing, नहीं ये तो convince हो ही नहीं रहा है. Be it book distribution, pass distribution, or giving a class, or whatever it is, even counseling for that matter, sometimes it doesn't work. Same thing, it doesn't work. Why? Lord is the one who does that. Therefore, the point is that Lord gives the credit to his devotees, he glorifies his devotees, and here Lord took the entire team of Devatas to Lord Shiva, and the Devatas started glorifying Lord Shiva. Firstly, they started taking shelter of Lord Shiva, saying that, oh Lord, you are the one who can actually save us. And when it comes to this entire universal administration, different departments are given to different Devatas, and one department of danger is given to Lord Shiva. So what are the dangerous things that Lord Shiva takes care of? First, ghost. Now just imagine, now if we have a ghost here, yes, अभी तो सुबह है, ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. At night, there's no one in the entire big hall, say 5,000 square feet hall, it's locked and only you are there. And suddenly from nowhere, Chan. Chan. Just imagine the situation. My God. It's so difficult. Naturally, people run away. Who wants to associate with ghosts? It's so inauspicious. But Lord Shiva takes care of the ghosts. First, he's called as Bhutanath for that matter. Yes. Second, he takes care of all these creatures like snakes and scorpions and others. You see, no one wants them. This I can say. Suppose. अभी क्या यहाँ से बीच में से doesn't matter how serious the devotee is to attain Krishna Prem. पहले उठ के भागेगा वहां से. Yes. And the devotee will say also, see Prabhuji, for doing sadhana, this body is very important. So I have to take care of this body also. Can you imagine? And Lord Shiva is taking care of them. What is the other dangerous thing that Lord Shiva does? And demons also take shelter of Lord. Yes, Lord Shiva. Dissolution, destruction. Can you imagine this entire scene of dissolution? The entire world gets filled with first fire, entire thing burns, ablaze, all the 14 planet system. And the entire 14 planet system get filled with water. Just imagine the scene of tsunami. You go to beach and the huge... Oh, it's a wrong example today. नहीं वो पहले जो उसका बता रहा हूँ मैं. अभी आज का कुछ नहीं होगा. Just imagine that scene. It's so very dangerous and so very fearful. Huge waves. And the ones who are playing inside, jumping from one place to another, they might feel, oh, there's one more wave coming, one more wave coming. You have seen small kids doing that and they'll jump. Now just imagine a wave is coming like that. अरे तो बड़े होते जा रहा है, and then done. And when people realize that the wave is really huge, it was already time up. And the wave just gulped all of them. Now just imagine that scene where the entire world is getting filled with water. What will happen? What will happen? Very, very dangerous situation. And who is doing this? Who is taking care of this? Lord Shiva is taking care of this. So they went and took shelter of this person who takes care of various dangers. And he begged and prayed. They all begged and prayed that we have come here to take your shelter. You take care of so many different things. Now please save us from this halahal poison. Please save us. And at that time, Lord Shiva, the Supreme Lord, in this particular situation, he's in material world. Lord Shiva also acts as Supreme Lord. But when it comes to comparison with Lord Krishna, he is just a personality of Godhead. He is not Supreme Personality of Godhead. He himself glorifies Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he takes the subservient position. And here, when this prayer was offered, huge prayer, he went to Bhavani. Lord Shiva went to Bhavani, and he started saying, see, all the living entities are troubled by poison. I have to go and drink the poison, and I have to save all of them. And Shukadeva Goswami says, having said this, Lord Shiva started drinking poison, and he had the permission of Bhavani to do so. And I was wondering that this is the place where everything starts about the husband and wife. Lord Shiva is setting an example. Whatever you're doing, you want to be in a safe position, take permission of your all the Grasta aspirants. Very, very important. Huh? Now it depends on your karma. So just imagine that Bhavani, she had so much of confidence on the husband that my husband is fully capable. Nothing will happen to him. Go, no problem. And Lord Shiva goes and is described, he takes the entire poison in his palm and he starts drinking the poison. And when he's drinking the poison, some poison will be just imagine in the palm when you hold, some drops will fall down. So when some drops fell down, so at that time the poisonous creatures like snakes, scorpions, mosquitoes, etc., they all came. Mahaprasade Govinde. It's falling and they started drinking that. And Lord Shiva drank the entire poison and he held that poison in the neck, in the kantha. Therefore, he is called as Nilakantha. Now, in this case, in these set of verses, there are amazing things which are spoken. One thing that is said is, or one very, very famous shloka, which talks about the preachers of Krishna consciousness. Tapyanti loka tapena. What's the next line? Sadhava prayoso janah paramaradhanam tadhi. नहीं मुझे भी नहीं आता इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ. I forgot. Yeah, Akhilatmani. That's how it ends. So this point is very, very important that is made in the shloka. It is said the supreme worship of the Supreme Lord is helping people in general to get closer to Him. Now see, whenever we help someone in Krishna consciousness, it's not easy. It's not easy. 2 points I would like to mention here. The first thing is, every single devotee should be involved in missionary activities. Because when we get into this missionary activities and when we act as missionaries for the pleasure of the Lord is very pleased. Here it is said, Param Aradhanam Tadhi. This Param Aradhana, this supreme worship is preaching. Supreme worship is going around and helping the living entities to get closer to Krishna. Very, very important. Now, whenever we are preaching, one thing is very sure that we are putting ourselves in a risk. It's like drinking poison, no doubt. Because at times when we go out to preach to people, and when they start speaking, one is many things they speak. One is that they'll start sharing their heart. Already we are contaminated, and their contamination comes. Especially when you're preaching to youth boys, even for that matter, grastas also. Now, many things they'll speak which will trigger or pass samskaras. Just imagine, some boy comes to you and the boy says that I was into an affair with this girl, and we went around to these places and we were dating, and this happened, that happened. Now, just imagine, hearing all that, our past samskaras will be back. Those beautiful days which I was in with a very beautiful girl. Now that's a contamination that is there. One boy said that, Prabhuji, I really need help. And he was telling me that, I asked him what happened. Prabhuji, I'm into some illicit activities. I said, oh, okay. So for that you should, no, Prajit, let me describe first. I said, bhai, tu don't describe anything. As soon as you said illicit, I understood what you're doing. Don't describe. This is one, and many times, even when it comes to Grahastha devotees, they come and reveal something to brahmachari which they're not supposed to reveal. I'm like, what are you speaking? You cannot speak all this. It's a contamination, poison. So one thing that we should know is how much poison can we take? Only that much poison we should take. We shouldn't become Lord Shiva. All the poison I'll take. And all the poison we'll take, what will happen with us? We will die. We will die. Therefore, this point is very, very, very important to note, that while preaching also, we should understand our capacity, capability, and accordingly do the needful. We should act too smart. But everyone has some capacity to preach, so we should preach. We shouldn't take a backstep saying, no, I cannot do it. No, everyone can do. So all of us, should take this opportunity to preach. Very, very important. And here we see that Lord Shiva drank the poison. And as soon as Lord Shiva drank the poison, everyone was very happy. And everyone glorified Lord Shiva as a great devotee. And the churning continued. And many things came out of Samudra Manthan. And finally the nectar came out. And that nectar was distributed to the Devatas. And the demons were cheated. Sometime later we'll see this pastime also. That how they were cheated and how the nectar was distributed to the Devatas. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.